Good morning, dear students. Welcome back again with a new lesson of Science 2. This is our first lesson for Science 2 of 9th standard. We are dealing with the lesson number 2, lesson number 6, that is classification of plants. First of all, we'll study about its table and later on we'll study it in detail. Very short and sweet lesson. First of all our living organisms, they are classified into on the basis of nucleus and nucleus covered and nucleus not covered. We have given the name as eukaryotes and prokaryotes. You can see here prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Eukaryotes are further classified into unicellular. Prokaryotes are classified into unicellular. Eukaryotes are further classified into unicellular and multicellular. First of all, unicellular, multicellular. Unicellular implies one cell performs all the function, whereas multicellular, many cells are there to perform all the activities, and therefore it is very complex to study about multicellular. The example of prokaryotes unicellular is Monera, as said by Whitaker. Whitaker has given 5 kingdoms. Among them, first one is Monera. Remaining are also given there. We'll study it one by one. Therefore, here beside Monera, I have written here as number 1. Then, apart from that, unicellular Protista I have taken as number 2. Multicellular, it is further divided into with cell wall and without cell wall. With cell wall, further it is divided into autotroph and heterotroph. Autotroph implies those organisms which can prepare the food of their own. Heterotroph implies those organisms which depend on other organisms for the food. Then without cell wall implies here Animalia. Animalia, that is animal kingdom, which is not there this year. Next year it will be there in detail. So this year we are only going to study about classification of plants or plant kingdom in detail. Now here with cell wall, further it is classified as autotroph and heterotroph. Autotroph we call it as plantae, heterotroph we call it as fungi. Without cell wall we have taken as Animalia. Now further plantae is further divided into flowering plants and non-flowering plants. Flowering plants, those who bear flowers, name itself suggests, they are called as phanerogams. Non-flowering plants do not bear flowers, they are called as cryptograms. In cryptograms, further 3 division is there, and in phanerogams, further 2 division is there, which we are going to study it one by one. Now here in non-flowering plants, here 3 divisions are there: Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta. In short, I am telling you, Thallophyta example is Spirogera, Alva and Ulothrix. Bryophyta example Funaria, Mercantia and Anthoceros. It is also called as Amphibian Type because it survives in the moist soil, as well as for reproduction it requires water, and therefore it is also called as amphibians. Then third one is Pteridophyta. It has roots, stems and leaves, but does not bear flowers. It has conducting tissues, but then still it does not bear flower. Then apart from non-flowering plants, there is another part which is divided into flowering plants. In flowering plants, again it is divided into 2. One is those type of flowers where seeds are covered and seeds are not covered. That is Angiosperm and Gymnosperm. Now, gymno implies naked. Seeds are naked. Seeds are not covered. Whereas angio seeds are enclosed by the fruits. So they are covered. So here now in flowering plants, further it is divided into say angiosperm and gymnosperm. In gymnosperm, example Cycas, Thuja, and Pinus. It is further divided into different types of cotyledons, dicots and monocots. Two cotyledons are there, it is called dicots. One cotyledon it is called as monocots. Whereas in case of angiosperm, since it is angiosperm, seeds are enclosed, seeds are covered. That was, we have studied the flow chart of this. Now we have to discuss about each and every division in detail in short. Before that, we should know why there is need to classify and what are the criteria or condition for the classification. The first criteria or condition for the classification is presence or absence of organs. Then further, presence or absence of conducting tissues of water and fruits. So if conducting tissues are not present, then food and water cannot be transported from one part of the plant to another part of the plant. So on the basis of that also classification is being done. Then seeds enclosed in a fruit or not. Whether seeds are inside the fruit or not inside the fruit. Based on that also classification is being done. For the presence or absence of flowers, fruits, and seeds. Whether flowers are present or not. In the flow chart, we have already discussed if the plants are bearing flowers, they are called as phanerogams, and if they are not bearing flowers, they are called as cryptograms. Now we are going to study about each and every division in short. Among them, first one, cryptogams. Cryptogam implies non-flowering plants. In cryptogams, first division is Thallophyta. The characteristics of Thallophyta, it does not have root, stem, leaves and flowers. Further, they are autotroph. Autotroph implies they can prepare the food of their own. Definitely, they possess chlorophyll and therefore they can prepare the food of their own. Then they can be either unicellular or multicellular. Unicellular implies one cell performs all the function, multicellular many cells performing the functions. Then these type of plants are either found in fresh water or in saline water. Fresh water we also call it sweet water, saline or salty water. Then some plant without chlorophyll are also there. We call it as fungi. They depend on other organisms for their food. Example, yeast and mold, etc. Now another division, that is Bryophyta. They are also called as amphibian type, as already I have said to you, because they can survive in a moist soil as well as for reproduction they require water. Since they can survive in both the places, therefore they are called as amphibian type of plants. They don't have proper root, stem and leaves. Leaf like structure is there, stem like structure is there, leaf like stem like structure is there, but then real root, stem, leaves are not there. They are multicellular and autotrophic. reproduce by spore formation. Then they appear like flat ribbon like long without true root, stem and leaves. Then they have stem like or leaf like parts, root like rhizoids. No conducting tissues are present in them. Therefore, transportation of food and water through different parts of the plant is not possible. The third division is pteridophyte. They have well developed roots, stem, and leaves. They also have conducting tissue like xylem and phloem, which are responsible for transporting food, water from one part of the plant to another part. Then they reproduce by spores formed at the posterior surface of the leaves. For example, Nephrolepis, Marsillia, Pteris, etc. They reproduce asexually by spore and sexually by zygote formation. Now that was all about the non-flowering plants. Now we'll be discussing about the flowering plants. Flowering plant is also called as phanerogams. It has two divisions or two types. Among them, first one is gymnosperm. Gymno, name itself suggests gymno. The body's parts are being exposed. Therefore, seeds are exposed, not covered. Green, perennial, never ending, and woody. Stem without branches. Leaves are there in the form of crown. Then bears male and female flowers on different sporophyll of same plant. Seeds have no natural coverings. Plants do not form fruits and called as gymnosperms. For example, Cycas, Spinus and Thuja. The next one is Angiosperm. The flowers bears reproductive organs. They develop into fruits. Then seeds are formed within fruits. Seeds are covered and hence they are called as angiosperms. The plant divides seeds into two equal parts. It is called as dicotyledons. And if it does not divide the seeds into two equal parts, it is called as monocots. Here we have covered all the topic of this lesson. I hope so you have understood this lesson. Have a great day. Thank you very much.